see how it is. Just a second. Trying to get the sound and the streaming right, and then I will be cutting this part out of the video, because every time that I try to stream, then it turns out it didn't record, or see if the video started. Yes. Okay, let's see. Okay, we have the sound. Everything is perfect, it seems. Raise this a bit. Trying to tackle my microphone. Okay. So, morning. Yesterday, to be honest, I felt quite bad after physio and the 40-degree heat, so it was difficult. And today in the morning, still not feeling like myself. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my brush, and what I want to do is I want to finish the bag today, and then we're gonna move on to these items here. Okay, and I have my Boo-Touch brush with me, so yay, we're gonna be able to add those details. So we're almost done with this illustration. That makes me happy. So here I want to do what's happening and select the layer. Of course I didn't select the layer. Okay, so remove these. Okay, this is my layer. So I bought yesterday, I got Paper Lake and the nibs as well, so you might be hearing some scratching. So here I'm going to correct that shape of the bag and give it that definition. Okay, and here there's kind of an edge that I want to fix. But I don't want to lose that line altogether, because what I want to do is I'm going to take a darker color and darken up this area, the one that's kind of the side of the bag, like the side of this flap of the bag. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select a very light color, a smaller brush. Here I'm gonna add that just a little indication of this flap of the bag, like the closing part of the bag. So like this, it looks as if it's not flat, okay? I'm gonna go back to my size. Here I'm gonna do the same here for the thickness. But here I'm gonna correct the shape. Like so. This is our thickness, and here already we have it light, and here I'm not going to create a huge difference between the flap that closes the bag and the floor, because it's away from our focal point. Away from the focal point, and we don't care particularly. Here I'm going to leave that line, separates the two. Okay, I see that it's lagging now again. Here I'm going to fix the shape of the color of the paper. Okay, and I'm gonna make this button maybe copper. Like so. I see that there is no connection. Okay, no, now it's running smoothly. The transmission. Okay, let's see now. Mm, okay, now. So here, what I want to do is I want to fix first of all the shape. And here it's already dark enough to separate the two parts. From this to this, it's dark enough. But we can add a bit more texture then to make it look like this leather, I don't know, not leather or something. Like the bag that is made out of some kind of material. That's gonna be interesting. Like we did in the previous one. Feels so weird now drawing with the paper like because I used the other like generic screen protectors. Actually here what it gives me an idea, we can make like a little tear in the bag here. So it's visible. So like so. Look, that makes it more cute. There's a little tear there. Okay. And here I want to separate this part maybe with a different color. Here it's going to be darker on this side. Here it's going to be lighter. I'm not paying attention to that button now. Here we're going to have some darker edges. Okay, some light maybe on this edge here. And I'm going to take the same color of the button. So this and this one, let's make it like coppery. Not too bright. I need something orange. There we go. This is my button. I'm gonna add some coppery touches. You're taking everything from here, the same colors that I'm using on the bag. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that's okay because I don't want it to go like claw the eyes out just by being there. Okay, now it's time to get here. So first I'm going to add that edge, make it a bit more, like correct it a bit more. For now I'm not worrying about the stitches. Here I'm adding the color of the bag itself, and here we need to also do the pocket. So today is the bag day. So here, to remove those circle areas around, and I'm not gonna remove the lines. I'm gonna go over them, but just because I want it to look not very sharp. Like it's gonna make it quite blurry with this size of the pencil. Adding a bit of color of the other one into this one as well, just to make them more cohesive. Okay, so here we have another circle. Like I like these polka dotty circles. Like this pattern and stripes. My favorite is stripes. Like you noticed already in many things I put stripes. Okay, over here we're gonna correct that shape of our patch. Like so, here it becomes lighter. What are you drinking? I have my dog drinking water on the balcony. She found water for the plants. Thankfully, I have nothing inside of it. Like so. Here we fix that edge. Look from afar. It starts to look better already. Add some of that pinkier color here and mix it together. And here, what I want to do, I want to make it a bit darker, just a bit. Just to separate that patch a bit, just to make a bit more contrast between the patch, but just a bit, because that's not the focal point. Okay. This is the last one. Last circle. Here it's in the shadow. You can see as it's in the shadow already. We have everything. Like we have the color prepared. Oh, good. Okay. So now we have these circles. I think this one is just a bit too dark. Let's make it a bit lighter because it's like on the bend of the light and dark. Okay. Now I'm gonna go on the layer with the line work, and I'm going to slightly erase these lines. We can keep some in there, but we can erase a bit. And going back, maybe we can add some texture over here and the blues with the purples, and some blues going into the purples just to keep it more interesting. Okay, now we have to choose the color of the stitches. So the color of the stitches, I'm thinking, let's do it on another layer so that we can then put it together. So what if we do them red? I don't want to do them. Teal, I don't want to do them either. Green. Let's try. Let's try to do the stitches, and then this is like very bright. So she loves color. She loves color, and this is gonna, let's see how it looks from afar now. Okay, and let's see. We go through different colors, which one looks better? Maybe purple, maybe they can be dark blue. Yeah, I think this looks best, dark blue. Okay, so I'm gonna take this dark blue, move maybe slightly into the purples, and go even darker. I'm gonna start defining them a bit. So here, I'm not gonna add a lot of detail to define them because it's the away from the focal point of the whole image, but they still need a bit of detail in general. One's on top to show that this one's on the bottom. Here, let's show that little hole where they've been stitched through. Use the same color. So, okay, and we can use something lighter on them. Just a bit, just to give it more interest. Not very contrasting, but just a bit. And here I'm gonna go into the darker brown, this one, and indicate that area where they kind of grow from. Grow from, where they originate from. Let's make it darker here. What I wanted to do, I wanted to create, I forgot, I wanted to create a tear in this pocket, but it's okay. Now I'm going to take a lighter color and just add lighter color and just add a bit of the illusion of the volume. Pressing very lightly, and like this you can see as if it's a hole in there, you see, just like a little fine trick. So here like so, and here a bit like so. And here the same, I'm gonna do, yeah, it's pink. Just give that idea of the fact that they are actually piercing through the fabric, you see, like so. And here what I wanted to do is I'm going to take this color and I'm going to take the darkest brown that I have, this one, and I'm going to do, no, this is not the darkest brown, there. Okay, I think we can blend these two together. And here there's going to be a hole in the pocket. I'm going to go darker towards the inside and lighter towards the outside, picking the colors from here. Does it look like a hole? Not very. Wait, let's do a bit more. These colors. And if we add a bit of lighter color here on the edge, maybe that's gonna do the trick. Yeah. And also I need to add a bit of that darkness under the patch, just to show that there is like a connection where the patch is touching the fabric of the excuse me, the fabric of the backpack itself. Okay, so this looks more like a hole now. We're gonna add those lines. So here I'm gonna add a bit of darkness to separate this area from my pocket, so to make it seem more like a pocket. Okay, I'm gonna add a bit of texture here, and here we're gonna do those seams Okay. Okay, and here we can definitely see the edge of the. I'm gonna do one thing. I'm gonna go into almost blacks to indicate that depth here in the pocket. There's no light shining through. Like so, it's gonna look more like a hole. And here, I'm gonna take this color, this one here, here, like so, and we're gonna move it into the color of the pocket because here it's kind of on the bend and we can see a bit of that pocket inside. Okay, in a perfect world now, what I would do was like, oh, okay, there's a harmonica inside here. We need to show it and looks empty a bit, but I really want to finish this illustration. Okay, let's see. So I'm gonna go onto the layer of the line work. Actually, no, I'm gonna go back into the layer of the backpack. And here I'm going to remove that line because here I really don't need it anymore. On the floor, maybe some indication of it somewhere. But here, it's already not important. We have the floor, but these lines are only distracting here. Like I'm learning to do more with less recently. Okay. And also this line. See? There we go. We get rid of it. Also here, can play around with this line to kind of tone it down a bit. Okay, what I have now is I have layer here. Okay, so where's our watercolor layer? Do maybe these. We'll group them. Okay, so I think the bag is ready. What we can do is with the bag, we can okay, this level layer, I'm gonna delete it. I don't need it. Okay, this group, I think it's done. We can flatten it, definitely. I'm gonna take this girl, put her here, no, under the color burn layer. So the color burn layer goes here. This one we don't need it. Okay. Okay, I don't want to lose the color burn layer. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate it, put it underneath. Gonna merge this like so, and clipping mask. Gonna merge it so I can merge all of these layers together, like so. But I need the bag layer. Okay, this one we can flatten like so, and I don't need the, no, I need the lines. We select this one and this one, and I'm going to take it up here. No, okay, so the bag I'm not gonna flatten it for you. Let's work then on these, and we're gonna use multiply. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use my brush that is the Butch brush, stylus, but in a brush shape. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to take the colors. Now there's gonna be one. Okay. Okay, so I want to take the colors from here, and I'm gonna go into my Adolfson Farias's watercolors and first lay in that base color. Okay, so something like this. So actually, I don't know what did I do because now I need to bring this let's do one thing. Let's undo the move and group and merge layers and clipping masks and so on. Does it still have layers? Because otherwise I don't understand what's happening. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a layer on top of my layer with the papers here, and I'm going to select the color from my boat. They're more or less the same. And now I'm going to start adding the texture, and I'm using this brush, the blade base. Somewhere it's more, somewhere it's less, somewhere the paper is gonna be maybe just gingery, orangier. Okay. Oh, what happened? Yes, nothing. Okay, now I'm gonna go into some blues, and what I'm gonna use is watercolor wet spread. Okay, so here what I'm doing is I'm going to play with the size, and in some areas, especially here towards the central part and where the pages are kind of folding, I'm gonna make a clipping mask first of all. Here inside it's gonna have this darker blue. Here towards the insides of the wrinkled paper also. Take a warmer blue now. Add it somewhere in places as well. Okay, then what I want to do is I want to choose something brownier, and here, oh, why isn't it paint? Ah, what is happening? There's this sheet of paper that's gonna be, for example, brown. Still getting used to this. Maybe some browns in here. Then, actually, there we can add it with a smaller brush. Maybe some blues, but brighter blues here, and something darker even. In the photo here, there is this white whale that is going to be blue in her drawing, for example. Maybe some areas of this grayer blue can come in through the shadows, like so. Okay, and then I want to do the binder. It's going to be purple. I love purple, and it's going to be purple. For the binder, we can do it here. Actually, I need a pencil for this. Not the wet spread, but I'm gonna do light base. Too big. Okay, and here the binder is gonna be purple as well. Like so. And here as well, the binder under the papers is gonna be purple. Purple color here in between. Okay. Now, more interesting colors. I'm going to go in maybe color burn, and I'm going to select a bigger brush and to water brush wet paper. So I'm going to add a bit of those pinks inside here. Maybe not in color burn. Let's see. Darken. This is interesting. Linear burn is also interesting. Lighter screen. Because I don't want it light, the notebook. It's not the focal point here. I think in linear burn, this is interesting. Okay. Then we can make it a bit lighter in general. And then clipping mask. Here, let's go into some pale yellows as well. Those sheets. They're not new. No one said they're new. Okay. Like so. Now it's very colorful, but then we're gonna whiten it up. Okay. So what I want to do now is I want to add a new layer, and it's gonna be screen layer, and do a clipping mask, and I'm gonna choose white color and go over my sheets of paper to add, maybe let's see something dry jitter, maybe add those textures. It's like interesting to see. And let's see if it's screen or another brush or another layer that we want to use. So like this, the white is not going to look completely white. Color touch, no. Add, maybe let's go into add. Overlay. Overlay doesn't look bad. Not sure. Go through different layer modes. Where now screen works the best. And here, what if we, no, the light burn layer, what if we make it less impactful and take a look at it from afar? Okay, so here, what I want to do is I want to select some areas. This one as well, this tape as well, maybe this piece of tape as well. Feather it just a little bit, and I'm gonna do them in a different color. Or even paint them in a different color, maybe red. Normal watercolor brush. Now let's do another multiply mode here. There we go. Okay, now I want to select this sheet of paper that she kind of cut out and pasted in, and I'm going to feather it out just a bit, and I'm going to make it brownish. Maybe even reddish a bit, or maybe yellower. Let's see. Okay, so then there we have this image. Again. And here we're gonna make it dark blue with some other blues in it. Do we have it on multiply? Yes. And maybe some teal. And the sea maybe. Like so. Then I'm gonna color these in better in the purple. And even make them colorful, I don't know, in the binder, but I don't want to take away too much attention. So here we have this part. I'm gonna color it in, like I want to do the most of the work with I'm gonna color it very tiny bit. I'm going to add texture with this maybe dry watercolor texture. Dark or like the texture. Let's choose another brush. So maybe something bluer. Like so. Okay. And maybe let's do this little square here. Or can we do it? We can do it. Think. Sticky note pink. And then I forgot to add here. Okay, let's do with a different color. So here we do this. So, and maybe some purple here as well. Okay, and what I want to do now is I want to try one thing. Keep the linear burn, keep this one a bit less. Okay, and here, what if I go into Gaussian blur? And I just blur them out a bit. So this one is also a clipping mask. We are gonna merge these. And here what I want to do is I want to create this sense of maybe darkness towards here. Maybe some areas make them lighter, more interesting. Or even darker. And then this whale, I want to make it, actually we'll leave it the same color, we're going to do the white pencil on it. Here, let's choose these areas that are just a tiny bit. Make them lighter. Look a bit dirty now, but we'll fix this. Forgot to feather it out. Okay, And now we do multiply on this layer that we have here. Now we do less intense colors, or these areas, some areas on the paper here. I'm gonna do them less saturated and brighter. And these in general, I want to make them less saturated and brighter as if they're, and maybe bluer, like so. Okay, looks a bit dirty, the binder, but now we're gonna fix it. No worries. Gonna use my brush for adding textures. I don't think that it's streaming anymore. Let's try. Let's see. Okay, let me just check that it's making any differences in the size. Yes, okay. So now what I want to do is I want to work a bit on the whale. Let's start with the whale, and I think I'm going to be finishing for today. Okay, so in normal mode, what I want to do is I want to go into my rubber brush, smaller size, and I'm gonna draw this whale, like scribble in this whale, because the whale in the legend is white. Actually, we're gonna take this layer up over the line work. The whale in this layer is what in this layer in the legend is completely white. As we're not creating too much contrast, but we need to hint at our whale. So we're gonna draw the whale as if she scribbled it in with a pencil. So let's take a look. Okay, and maybe let's add some tone to it, like so. Maybe she outlined it in, let's find the purple in another color. So here were my messy sketch marks. I'm gonna leave them. Oh, do you like the eye? Smaller eye, okay. And here I want to create that texture of a sticky note. A little note here. And here there are these little corners. Maybe let's make them purple. We're still gonna have the undertone underneath, but here we can make the purple line like so. Make it like so. Okay. Here, create that note. Gonna go over it with the color and then choose a different color from the same watercolor. So I want to leave only the texture of the paper on the paper of the notebook, like the binder that she's carrying around with her only. So let's cover this up and then we can add the color that we need. Maybe here a bit of that pink is gonna work good. Like a little masking tape, you know, those little what do you call them? Those little tapes. Washi tapes, there we go. There we go. And we get this kind of torn edge here. Like so. Maybe let's tone it just a bit down a bit. Okay. Here we have that image of a photo stuck onto, like, we don't know what's in the photo. It's your imagination for you. Okay. Now, from ugly, we're making this pretty. Okay, so now maybe some blues, greens and blues on those tapes are gonna work best, I think. Too close to the color. Maybe some purple here, just not to have it too close of a color. Here we're gonna do another sticky note, another washi tape, sorry. Here, let's make the picture just a bit larger. Maybe let's add something in the picture here with the darker color. Maybe something with a lighter one as well, like something there. We don't know what's there. Okay. Here is the stuff from the floor, but we'll use the color to add the text, as if this is some scribbles there. Okay. Like so. And here, what I'm gonna do, where every page comes out to the light, I'm gonna create like a lighter edge for that page and then blend it into the shadow. Page, it has an edge, and then we blend it out into the darker area. Here there's another page, we blend it out, get away from those lines. Here there's another page, just to create the impression, the illusion of many pages. Let's see how that looks. Okay, that looks fine. Or maybe a bit of that pinkier color will work good. A bit here, maybe a bit of blue over here, maybe a bit of brown over here. Okay, maybe let's make them all the same color. Maybe let's make them all blue. Or all purple. Like so. Just to give some indication that there's stuff happening here. And over here with these crinkled up papers, what I want to do, I want to get rid of that line on the outside. Then I'll fix the lines of the floor as well. So where it's darker, I'm going to add the lights to kind of contrast it. It's going to be lighter, like so. So to kind of imitate that crinkled up paper. And here I'm gonna blend it in. And here I'm gonna add some of that darkness where the paper is actually on the floor. Like crinkled up on the floor. Crumpled up. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Okay, whiter color here. I'm not looking for realism here. What I'm looking for is to create the sensation of that this is a piece of paper and that it has these different areas in it. Here it's lying on the floor, we can leave it dark. So here also like this. Here lighter here. Lighter over here. Just getting rid of those lines. If we pull away and look at it from afar, it does look like maybe crumpled paper. Maybe it needs a bit of darkness in those shadow areas. There we go, like so. So I'm not drawing this out perfectly, I'm just creating an illusion of crumpled paper. Okay, so guys, for today, I think that's gonna be it. And still don't like it's too dark, this part. I don't know, maybe we go into curves and lighten it just slightly a bit to make it grayer. Not white, but maybe the darks are gonna be not as pronounced. Maybe, yeah, maybe I like it better this way. Let's raise a bit of blues. Okay, so for today, that's it. Thank you guys for being here, and I will see you tomorrow at the next render stage. Thanks for watching. Bye. Oh, would you do this? Oh, come on. Said bye and